Do you have any tattoos?
No, I really want some. I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, same. Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez. With me today is my good old friend, J.E.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. I thought that we might be able to go into a rabbit hole about tattoos. But how are you doing today, Jay?
We could get into rabbit hole tattoos, but I don't have any. I can just tell you all the ones I want. But this is not the podcast for that. I'm doing okay. I kind of have to pee, but we'll see how that goes.
Hey, but those are not the bodily functions that we are talking about today. Today we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We'll create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful world that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 206 IP. Let's begin with my idea. I want to create a game where it's a story-driven, third-person game where you play as a teenager, similar to how Bully was. But I want it to be like, I forgot the name of that show, Euphoria. So I want this teenager to be almost like a Grand Theft Auto game where he has different factions that give him missions, and there's drugs, there's sex parties, there's pregnancies, there's fights, there's like teachers getting paid off, like all of like the spicy stuff that can happen in high school. And I also want us to do a persona thing where we do, like, we sit there and we tease him going to college or her going to college, and then we actually give it to them. So then the first year of college we do, and then after that we say, like, find it out in the sequel, and then for year 2, 3, and 4, because I don't think we can do that much content and keep it. But I kind of want to do this game, and I think it'd be fun, full of drama, full of just like the worst shit.
Yeah, I totally get it. I think it is a little problematic because it is high school. I feel like if we were in a different country,
I'm thinking the thing we can't do is we can't do like any sexual assault. So, for instance, if a teacher gets with a student, she just turned 18, or she's going to turn 18 in 2 weeks, something like that, some consent. So, and also, obviously, like, no school shootings.
I also don't think we could get that deep into drugs, even though, like
Euphoria did.
Yeah, but like those actors are obviously not that age. Like, it's obvious these kids are supposed to portray high school, but it's okay because the actors are of age. You know what I mean?
We'll do the same thing. They're fucking. It's okay.
I think if they're
you in Grand Theft Auto,
it would be a little bit better.
Get a hooker and then kill it.
You don't, but it's kids. You know what I mean? Like, when it's around kids, especially like the ESRB or whatever, they get really like weird about it. So I feel like if it's college students, we could get away with way more. And I know the twist isn't as cool at the end.
College students, still, I want it to be, if it's a college student, then fraternity, with different clubs, parties, drugs, studying. That'd be great. We could do a bigger campus.
Yeah, bigger campus and get more intense with the subject material because shit goes down at college parties. The fraternity section, that could be just one faction. I don't want it to be like, you have to go through pledging and stuff, but I think you are always
like as a side quest. Like, yeah, there's going to be different. Right. So there's going to be different quests. So you're not going to be pegged into one thing. It's almost going to be like you're doing missions for different factions.
Maybe for the fraternity one, you get to choose between 2 fraternities at the end of the quest, and you go through the whole thing. And maybe when you join, there's a whole nother faction specific quest where you like go through pledging and all that shit.
And then, yeah, it totally makes sense. And then when you finish the pledging mission, after that, you get a costume where you get letters. And then randomly people on campus now are going to say what's up to you who have the same jacket on.
Yeah.
If you wear that jacket.
You also have access to more parties, maybe. And then you
different
have,
like fraternity
dialogue
parties.
Options, probably, that are different in certain situations.
I want this to be I want there to be a boy girl thing where you can play both sides, and there's a little bit of unique missions there, just sorority versus fraternity, such and
Mm.
such. So you're meeting different characters.
Maybe it's like GTA where you play as two different characters. Then you know what I mean, and then the story just revolves around these two characters and their relationship to each other.
That's a lot better.
Just
That's a good
because
idea.
if we do it so it's two different things, then no one's ever going to play like, or there's going to be like 25% of people who haven't ever played a specific section of the game. You know what I mean? Whereas if it's like GTA 5 and you have to go through these stories together, but each character has their own set of side quests that you could do, but their stories eventually intermingle. And then it could be a story about these two kids who maybe came into college together and were best friends, and they're broken apart because of the college lifestyle. And they're both taken to different parts of the college lifestyle, but then at the end they have to come back together to fix some thing in their relationship or whatever. They realize that they're the only things they needed was each other or some bullshit.
Maybe they see each other at a party or something, and things are just getting super fucked up.
Yeah. Like they're both getting to worse and worse shit, but whenever they're together, they pretend everything's okay. The dude's getting into like real, like crazy drug deal and sex trafficking shit where the girl is like, I don't know. I don't want to say prostitution, but like she could be getting more into like maybe like the rave scene with like E and Adderall and like
That's what I could see, and she's selling like a bunch,
yeah,
making
like,
people, having people come up to her, because it is what it is, but like ecstasy has like a pretty bad downturn where it would make it like where people get depressed and stuff. So that's difficult subject matter. It's not.
You could get into cocaine or like Adderall is easy as well at the time, and then like Vicodin is really rampant, like all that shit. And then not just the party scene of college, but then there's also like the studying scene and then the sports scene as well that you can
cultural
get
clubs,
in. Cultural clubs, and actually trying to further your education. And we can make both of the characters that are named and have personalities have specific majors, and then there's like the major clubs you could join, like engineering club versus like a biology club or something like that. There's a bunch of,
and then you could also have like your roommate, which is also custom missions, you know, where you start off and it's almost like Grove Street where you're just there and you have that your one roommate where you do like just college, like you said, like just college student missions where under taken out from any of the clubs, it's like going to the dining hall, talking. That's where you'll get your leads. Maybe your roommate will start talking about the major players on campus because they're a sophomore and you're a freshman.
Is there going to be a gameplay aspect of this, or is this literally just going to be Bully or like The Sims? Or is this going to be like Persona where there is some kind of outworldly thing that is happening and you have to solve it?
No outworldly thing. It's just college, but it's going to be some drama there where you're going to have different weapons, different, like you're going to be fighting, you're going to be talking, you're going to have different mini games to play to like persuade people and whatnot.
Will it have like a telltale aspect where you're making decisions and then you have to like do a point and click, look and inspect, find items, and then use the items if you have it or not?
Right. And there's also going to be that open world aspect as well.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like a open world Telltale game, but you're exploring a college, so it's more like GTA, but with
with the side quests, you could get different weapons too, possibly like a science weapon or an engineering weapon.
And like intent, so is it going to have like action fighting sequences, or is it like
beat 'em up kind of, you know, like similar to I'd say GTA, or like nothing too complicated, where you're. Like if you fight people, they might target you and try to punch you, but some certain clubs may have weapons. Like nothing crazy, but like
so kind of maybe more like Yakuza, you know what I mean? But like not pick everything up. You have like specific weapons that you have equipped.
Yeah, like some thugs, like thuggish people are gonna have like brass knuckles, but then the science club may have tasers, whereas the engineering club may have drones.
Yeah. Okay. And then like, if it's going to be like that, what if we have it so I don't know if party members would be good per se, because I kind of want there to be like a persona like confidant thing where there is going to be your roommate who's not part of your party, but they're like a confidant you could build, kind of like the Fortune confidant in P5 or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also a party member that is also like a confidant, and then you have your own side quest with that character, you know? And then those are all spread out through the thing where like one character that is part of your party is just someone you had class with in the early thing, or someone you went to orientation with, right? There's another confidant you could only unlock if you join the fraternity section, but they can join your party. And then there's one that you can't if you join like the engineering club or something like that. But I don't know if a party system would make sense for this kind of game.
I think it would only make sense temporarily for certain missions, but then after that, you'd be on your own again.
Mm.
So like if there's a mission, you could have a party member, but I don't know if you'd be, I think you can be developing stuff for certain quest givers though. And those quest givers may be part of your party on their mission, on your missions with them if they don't split up.
Right. Okay. So then maybe it's just, you just build these relationships with random people around campus. And then maybe as you build them up, it will just be like a passive stat boost or like a special skill or a thing that you unlock.
Or a weapon or access to a costume that improves maybe some stats. Nothing crazy like health, armor, whatever, attack. And then I also want it to be where there's random things going on campus that as you're playing the game. So there's like Halloween, there's Christmas, different events going on around that are going to be tied to the main quest, where every quarter it's going to end in a certain way due to the big event that's happening on campus during that. Makes sense. Like, for instance, for UC San Diego, that's like Sun God.
Yeah.
Or
like they'll have a music festival at the end of spring quarter.
And every club's trying to work their like hustle during that time, you know, or underground scene. Yeah. So that's where everything converges, like side quests if you want to do them.
And then you also got to pick one to like do with that quarter.
I don't know about
Persona,
that.
They would do that where it's like
completionists would hate it.
Yeah, but like in Persona, you have to pick
scum.
a girl for Valentine's Day or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
do that. But I think you can do a bunch of side quests for the individual clubs that are going to be there.
You still can, but the cutscene is like, oh, you decided to be part of the fraternity fundraiser for the winter fest thing.
So if you do all the side quests, let's have them choose. Like you can choose from a drop down menu. Who do you want to spend?
Yeah.
Or
and that's how Persona did it. You know what I mean? Where like you just choose to spend where, and then maybe that will also signify the significant other that you date. It's not really a date, but you know what I mean? Like the Persona style of dating. And then if you
you could, because it can get spicy also with relationships. Yeah. Because sometimes relationships move fast.
Yeah.
Or you'll see like a girl. The weirdest one was Jay and I we went to the same college, was when you saw like a major breakup happen and then you're in another club and you see that person randomly splinter off and join your other club that you're a part of. And you're like, oh, weird. You're part of the other life. Now you're in this. Yeah. That's so like you're joining another group and I only associate, like your brain's like, I only associate you with this group.
Right. But yeah, I think there's relationships that could happen, and then it'll be more intense than Persona, where it does matter who you date and when and how many at the same time, because it's college and that can happen. You know what I mean? That's your decision. And we'll have written instances for all those things, and you could go to multiple.
I think you can also choose to break up too.
Yeah. It's like it's a bigger mechanic in this game than it would be in Persona.
Right. Okay. I like where this is going. Do you want there to be I think there should be different methods of moving around campus so that you can have a bicycle, a skateboard, a longboard,
think it's going to be
scooter.
It's going to be even more crazy than what you have available in GTA, where you're not going to be having cars and stuff to go around. You're going to have, like what you said, we're gonna have a whole action game in here where it's gonna be bikes, skateboards, rollerblades, and you could buy
Security
that,
golf
like,
carts, security segways.
yeah, like that type of shit. The one wheel thing now that you could have, the other hoverboard
Oh my
thing where you go
god,
forward.
that was after my time, but I can just imagine. And also, do you remember the guys who would have those one, like it was a two wooden boards, and it was basically like really minimalist rollerblades, but
Yeah.
with one wheel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you could get all that shit, like all that's available for you to buy.
So-
Bicycles, fixies works different than
Fixies.
BMX bikes. Like we'll have all that with different mechanics for each one. We'll have a slight trick mechanic for all of them. Scooters, electric scooters. We'll have electric skateboards,
I'll tell
longboards,
you,
penny boards.
after, like, I will say my opinion is, I know it's not necessarily needed here, but I felt like with people who like rode scooters, no offense, are the people who are like, I just want to get somewhere with minimal effort.
Yeah.
Like anything else is cooler and funner than a scooter.
I was like, also minimal physical appearance look. You know what I mean? Like you look a certain way when you ride a Razor skateboard or Razor scooter.
The whole stature and everything. But
in this
you can
game,
have
you
it
could
in
even we could even go crazy where you could get like a golf cart. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Then it's like you're like Ryan Reynolds from Van Wilder. Yeah.
I also think in this game you could choose to get a pet, which doesn't work like a real pet, like a virtual pet, where you kind of have to take care of it, but you don't really if you don't want to. But you could take it on walks around campus and stuff will happen if you walk your dog around or cat around.
And because there's different quarters, there's going to be different things happening around campus, which I think is really cool because we're going to have one big level, but it's going to change every part. So, there's going to be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And
what if they're different years in college? Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And so the first,
I was going to do quarters. You're going to do years?
Because like I think years will be interesting where like the first year you're in the dorm, right? And then second year you're in a house. And so that causes more crazy shit to be able to happen in a house. You know what I mean? You just do some time skips. And then maybe during the summer, there'll be like some like persona, like here's our summer break vacation to America type thing where it's like a whole side like filler arc thing.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if I could introduce a new mechanic.
Like you go to Vegas the first year, second year you go to Miami, third year you go to I don't know, you just stay in around campus because you're in so much shit. And then the last
I guess that
graduation.
could be whatever club you want to do, and then you have the option to do that arc.
Yeah.
Like with them, and then it's like a scene and additional mission that's unique.
So there'll be a lot of like time skipping and stuff happening, but still.
Okay. For sure.
Maybe
now
we'll just confine it to maybe 2 years, and then for DLC we'll add like year 3 in graduation type of thing.
All right, for sure. We can do that. Sounds like we've got most of the game here. I think we can end it with them coming together after a school-wide protest against the deans as they're cutting back classes and professors, but increasing pay. And I think that's where, like at the protest, they'll come together because there's going to be like some violence or some crazy shit or people getting tear gassed. We basically be making like how like on the last like chapter of every game, it gets apocalypse, but instead it's just riots.
I'm down for it.
Right? And it's timely. All right, so what music are we going to hear in this game? I think there's going to be different. I want to do different college radios. So, and make it just like that, where it's that indie kind of stuff. Did you ever listen to UCR's radio? Because I did.
Think so, yeah.
What do you think for music?
For music, I think it's just all sorts of genres. You'll just be like going around campus. You could either put in your own headphones, and then we'll have all sorts of cosmetics for that. We could put in earbuds, or you could put over the head headphones and all sorts of different things. You can carry a Walkman or whatever. But then the music is just, you just pick different stations that we have available, just like GTA. But every time you put on a station, you put like your headset in or whatever. You know what I mean? It'll be cool too. I don't know if this will be a fun effect where in the game where you choose different headphones. So if you buy AirPods versus over-ear headsets, the music actually changes in quality.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
most definitely we can do that.
You carry a boombox around and just be
I like
blasting
it.
it
Yeah.
around campus. But yeah, it would
Because
just
we
be
can
different
also have
stations.
jobs in this game, or you're getting money also through side quests where you're selling, unfortunately, drugs.
Yeah,
So
all that shit.
that's just what you're gonna. If you want money, you're gonna be peddling Adderall or doing like a side quest job,
Yeah.
like an internship. There's no in between. You either do an internship,
You know how
or
in
you're
GTA there's like convenience stores around the map and you could go in and like
yeah.
rob them. In this game, it would be like shady areas around campus that you find and unlock, and there you do your drug deals and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You can sell weed too. You don't have to sell pills.
Yeah. It's up to you, just like GTA. It just has different profit. Like weed, the least amount. Confident, fake homework, and like
Oh my God. Yeah. Writing
answers.
essays for other students to get money
Yeah.
too. That
could
is
be
a
side
business.
hustle. Yeah.
That is a legit business.
Use books and stuff like that, like photocopying
Yeah.
books and all that shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You could get into the black
Scantrons.
market used book
Or
market.
like, yeah, one club will have it where they show you how you can buy all of the store's Scantrons and then sell them for like $1.50, $2 a piece in front of the exam center.
Yeah. We'll have it so it's like there's like there's a route you can take in the game if you just don't want to be a bad student. There's like that route where it's like you're light criminal, and then there are the side quests you could do that make you like get into the shit. You know what I mean? We'll have like,
but even then, you're gonna be ripping off like books and stuff. You're gonna be like selling thumb drives instead, and it's gonna be virtuous because the book store charges $300, but you're selling these thumb drives with the whole book on there as PDF files for $50.
Right, definitely. You're still a bad person, but you know.
But it's like
not as
for
bad.
the right reasons. So I imagine this game looking really nice. Like I want the campus to look nice. I want it to graphically look great.
It's going to be a realistic looking fucking game with like really smart AI that walks around, lots of voice acting that makes sense and is dynamic to how the character moves and feels. Like it is going to be, what is it? Quadruple A quality graphics in my head.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So this game automatically
$70
pricing is going to be full pop.
Yeah.
$70, $60.
With even like cosmetic and DLC, like Ubisoft level microtransactions in it for cosmetics and shit.
Yeah, like we'll be adding different stuff that'll look great. You'll have a in-game shop.
Season
but then
pass.
maybe if we want to do like tie-ins with brands, those are going to be microtransactions.
Whatever we're naming this game, online.
Yeah, you could do that too. And then have like different heists, different like stuff that happen.
Yeah.
Because we could copy GTA in that aspect.
Exactly.
Okay, Jay. Let's name this game. Get your timer out.
Go.
I'm trying to think of a cool college name.
Right. Oh, like something like what Pixar did, MU, Monsters University.
Right, something cool like that.
Yeah.
What could it be? Not bachelors.
Graduate.
No, graduate could be high school too.
Yeah.
Something unique to college. Something unique to college.
What if we call it what is that really pretty much valedictorian but for college? What is that person called?
Sigma cum laude?
Yeah. But we call it like, yeah, what if we just call it cum laude?
I was thinking, no, we're not going to call it cum laude.
Cum laude.
But
cum laid.
Cum laid. Cum laid.
But you know what I mean?
I was thinking that just name it after the school, like Blue Mountain State or something like that. Or, I mean, we could do something like Euphoria, but I don't know what.
I like it. And then every sequel in the game is just that school in just different eras. What if this whole game takes place in like the let's say like the 70s where weed and drugs abound, you know what I mean? And the sequel
And
takes place in the
mushrooms, too.
90s, and then we make another game that takes place in the 2000s.
No, because I want to do realistic stuff happening now because it's what I know. I have no idea what was going on in the 70s.
I mean, I don't either, but we'll have historian experts that come in and do the whole thing.
Nah, we're changing too much, Jay. We can do that.
But
as
then the
sequels.
game name is just that university, right? And then every game, it's like Grand Theft Auto.
What
1,
if
2,
we
3,
go
4, 5.
modern day and keep going back in the past?
Back in time?
And
I'm fine with
maybe
that.
maybe
And then
the
doing a
future
cyberpunk.
games. Yes, and the future games reference
Yeah,
the past stuff, so you slowly find out more and more.
sure.
But
let's
I think
do
this
that.
game,
But you
what
know what I mean,
university
though.
should we call it?
We
Dell
should-
University?
It's definitely going to be like GTA, where this isn't America. This is a fake place, you know?
But basically America. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what
but
we
it is
know.
based off of America because it's going to
Okay.
be like football is going to be huge, basketball is going to be huge, baseball and all that shit. Let's call it Golden State University. Is there a real place called Golden State University?
Oh, I'm sure.
Let me look it up. Let me look up if there's a Golden State University. There's a there's a Golden Gate University. There's no such thing as Golden State University. There used to be, but it's been closed.
Maybe we just call it Lockmore University.
Makes it sound
Just
like it's
something
from
that's not
fucking
referencing anything.
No, there's no such thing as Golden State University. What, you like Lockmore?
I mean, we can do Golden State, but people are going to think it's California.
That's the point. I mean, Los Santos
Okay, then let's
is
do
Los
Golden
Angeles.
State.
You know what I mean?
That works for me. As
Golden
long as you're cool with committing, because we
I'm
know
committed.
California, so
Yeah.
that works for me.
It's a Californian college. It's going to be USC. You know what I mean? It's going to be based off USC.
Yeah.
It's like part of downtown, sort of in a bad area of downtown, but also really rich people go to USC. You know what I mean? It's going to,
Yeah.
we know California and its fucking university
We know-
system. It's going to be USC.
Well, at least we're going to be able to do California colleges in the 2010s. Unfortunately, we don't know what's going on in the 20s.
One of the side
Technically, though, 5 years after college, for about 5 years afterwards, I was at San Diego State University. My ex was. So I was
Right.
in San Diego.
I remember
chilling
that.
there.
One of the fucking side quests or like fillers arcs is you going to you go to Mazelland Park, the greatest place on earth.
You could as like a side quest where
there's a
where
confidant there.
where everybody does drugs there, like with the club.
Yeah. But anyway, that took 4 minutes and 1 second. Golden State University. Golden State U. Ugh.
GSU Golden State U. This is a game where you play as a college student, going through the ups and downs of college life, joining clubs, schemes, crimes, and more in Golden State University. Jay,
Two characters.
2 characters. You're right. Jay, what do you think about this game? Is it a game you'd want to play, and is it fun?
Hell yeah, man. You know, remember those times when there was GTA style game left and right everywhere you play? It's a fucking GTA.
Yeah.
Like, where did those go? I miss
The
GTA.
only thing
like,
that you have is Watch Dogs, kind of.
And
like it's
Mafia.
hacker GTA.
There's Mafia too. Yeah, you don't and Yakuza, but it's not really. When you play a Yakuza game, you're like, oh no, this isn't GTA like, but it's sort of there. You know what I mean? It's that feel of going through a city and all that stuff. You don't get much of these anymore. And this one sounds like a fun one, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. I'd want to play. I want something spicy, even though I'm a hypocrite. And I was like, I don't want heavy things. Like, obviously, this is my game. Nobody's dying. I'm not letting anyone die of a drug overdose. They might drug overdose, but they won't die.
Someone's gonna have to die in this game. There's gonna be 1 or 2 deaths.
Is that what you're thinking? So like a suicide
Yeah.
and
We're gonna go persona levels. Suicide,
great.
and then like a fucking teacher assault that led to death.
Or at a sports game.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Like they get hit so hard and it's like revenge hitting that they get concussed and then later brain bleed.
Out. Yeah, hemorrhage out.
Well, great.
GSU.
Yeah, I guess. Now that we have a complete game with Game Studio, would you assign to be able to make GSU the best?
Rockstar. It follows the protagonist
obviously.
and bully.
They would knock this shit out of the park.
Yeah.
If Take Two, if Rockstar was doing this, I'd be like, holy shit. Get ready for a whole, like, news stories are going to sit there and be like, is GSU setting the standard for college kids?
Yeah. The new GTA. They didn't know what to do anymore with the GTA franchise. They didn't have anything more to say about the overarching part of the state, but they have a lot to say about the American education system and how shitty it is.
Wouldn't it be cool also? Because remember like those college age movies where they would be doing ridiculous stuff for a ridiculous party? I want the same feeling to be felt in this game where you're like, holy shit, college is just on another level when you put all these people together.
Remember the era in the early 2000s where every movie was a college coming of age movie about how crazy college is? And then like I know for a fact there was places that fantasize about going to American school because of the movies and the media that made American schools feel like this grand old party. You know what I mean?
And it kind of is. And then the last 2 weeks, you study your fucking ass off.
Yeah. And college is that on another level. And there was there was American Pie, and there was like Accepted, and there was Bad Bunny, and there was House Bunny, not Bad Bunny, House Bunny. There was a lot of movies and TV,
and
about
then also
life.
The 80s movie with John Belushi. What's that one called? Animal House. That was a huge college thing. The Lampoon stuff. Ryan Reynolds, Van Wilder.
Do you remember like Party X and like
Party X? That was
the Night to Remember or something like that, or like The Day After. So I don't remember what these movies were fucking called, but there was movies that were about partying in college, you know. And we'll bring that in video game form. Another game studio that would do great. It's not really their wheelhouse because they do horror and stuff like that. But the people, the not Ready at Dawn, the Until Dawn people, the Man of Medan people, you know who I'm talking about?
Anthology.
Supermassive games. They could do something cool where it's just they do college students really well. But instead of doing horror, they do like a GTA overarching big story-driven game. And they also do choices really well. So that would translate that too.
I think that's great. I don't really have any of mind, but I think those are fantastic. Because I was thinking I'd throw out Ubisoft too.
Yeah.
Ubisoft would do a great one.
I was thinking just all the major game developers, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Atlas, give it to Capcom. So like,
I don't trust Square.
I don't either, but they like every game company would want a game like this just because it checks off that GTA, like, you know, like Ubisoft has Watch
I think
Dogs.
we could do a game like this. Also, no, it wouldn't be as fun. Japan universities would be so much more strict and
it would be different. Korean universities, on the other hand, that is a area not explored, but that could be interesting if this took place in Korea. Cool. That would be, because then we could have
K-pop and K-dramas in there as well.
Yeah,
which is a big cultural thing.
Gangsters, prostitution, drugs is crazy rampant there because it's super legal. You know, that could be a whole thing. Like Korea would be fascinating to do as well, but I don't think the government would like that very much.
Right.
Like Korea themselves, because they're very protective about Korea IP.
So that would be a game that would probably be banned there.
Oh, 100%.
But then it would just make it better.
Like how the interview was banned.
Yeah. Love it. And with that, our 206th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also give us feedback. We are still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. we have a Patreon. I realized I'm not doing the new script. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. It's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Remember to patch in. I'm just going off the script now. I don't even know what's happening. Remember to write in, patch in stuff, and become your inner game critic and review GSU, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name's AG.
And I'm JE.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs. I had to clear my throat in the most disgusting way possible before ending. Like, I couldn't wait 3 seconds after the podcast to do it.
Yeah.
It was such a biological thing. I wish I could have stopped myself.
One of the fucking summer side quest shits that you gotta do. You get tickets to go to V3, the biggest video game conference of the summer. And it's the last show because they don't know it, but a giant pandemic's about to hit and they're never going to do a V3 ever again.
That'd be a funny way to end the games to get us to go to Korea instead. Is you just say, and then coronavirus hit.
The next game, GSU quarantine.
I don't even know. Yeah.
You're just in a dorm all day.
A lot of students had a whole year of like campus living in college.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting game in itself. COVID, school.
Yeah.
We'll call it Zoom.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Zoom.